Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com. And today I wanted to answer a viewer question that came in via one of my comments on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to read it for you and answer it for you because this is something that a lot of new eBay sellers deal with. And I'll kind of spoil the surprise in terms of what we're talking about today. But what we're essentially going to be covering is, should you be the lowest offer? Should you undercut the market? If there's maybe a particular item, let's say a Pendleton button-up shirt, 100% wool, it's got the nice leather patches. Maybe you're seeing them consistently sell for 35, 40. Should you come in at 15, 16, 18? Is that smart? So that's essentially what we're going to talk about, but let me throw Susan's comment on the screen right now, and let's dive into this video. Before we get started, be sure to smash that like button, show some love if you like this content. I try to do my best to consistently put out valuable videos that can help you to grow your eBay, Amazon, reselling business. Question comes in on a video that I posted called 7 Ways to Jumpstart a Brand New eBay Business in 2021. Question comes from Susan, and Susan says, "Hey man, you have a great channel. I am a new seller on eBay. I've been wanting to go on Amazon, but it's tough getting on to sell right now. Like your mom said, it's hard to get on there. You really have to jump through some hoops." So first and foremost, I want to cover that really quick. It's definitely more challenging to get on Amazon right now. And I know this is off topic from what we're going to be covering, but I want to just mention it real quick. Now, if you want to become an Amazon seller, you have to go over to Amazon Seller Central, sign up for an account, put in all your bank information, but then they're going to put you through an approval process where they're going to send you out a little postcard. It's just a piece of paper with like a 6-digit code. And when you receive it, after about a week or two, you put the code in. It's like a login password type of thing with Amazon. You put the code in and then it approves you. I also have heard of them kind of going through an interview process as well via, I don't know if it's a Zoom call or what they're doing now. Someone help me out in the comments because recently I had an issue where I moved into this new house I'm living in now and I changed my address for where returns would go back to or unfulfilled inventory, and I changed that and it triggered something in the system and they literally suspended my account and they had to send me out a postcard. So it's not super hard to, like, in terms of jumping through hoops. I mean, you just have to go through that process, get the postcard, get approved. There's a free Amazon account and then there's a $40 a month. So it's not super hard, but it's a little different than eBay. So Susan says, "I have 91 items in my eBay shop. I do not have a store yet." So we're going back to the eBay topic. So she has 91 items in her shop, no store, which means she hasn't paid for the eBay subscription to be able to run sales, do some other various things. You get some discounts, free listings and whatnot. She says, "I have only sold 2 items so far. I've been on since May." So that was May. So that's May, June, July, August. So she's been on for 4 months. She has 91 items in her eBay store. It's not an official store, but she has 91 listings up. She's only sold 2 items so far. I have 1 positive feedback, so I'm 100% positive feedback. My problem is sourcing. So let's stop really quick. If you've been on for 4 months, and this goes for anybody, right? I'm not picking on Susan, but if you've been selling on eBay for 4 months, you've listed up 91 items, so let's just round it to 100. You've only sold 2, that's a 2% sell-through. So what that's telling me right now, Susan, is you're not sourcing items that have a high demand, or you're pricing inaccurately. So if you want to send me a message behind the scenes, I can take a look at your store, but there's one of 2 things going on. Either you're buying items that nobody wants, they're not popular, they're really long tail, or you're buying items that are popular, but you price them so high that people aren't able to buy it. And that's why I always recommend putting a best offer option onto your listings, because if you're new and you price something wrong or you get something wrong, having that best offer option allows you to stay in the market. Also, eBay, they rolled out that new feature over the last year or so where if somebody looks at your item, and someone correct me, I don't know if they have to look at your item or click on it or what they actually have to do, but you could actually send them an offer. I think it's if they view your item, you could send them an offer. So even if you don't have a best offer option, Susan, if someone views your item, maybe going back to that Pendleton shirt example, you've got it listed for 40, someone wants to offer you 25, maybe if things are slow, maybe if you want to get things moving, you can accept that offer. So if you're new, if you don't really understand how to price, which essentially pricing is very similar to real estate. When it comes to residential real estate, how do most real estate agents price a piece of property? Generally, it's based on what's known as comparable sales. So they take your property and they say, okay, it's 3 bedrooms, it's 2 baths, it's 1,800 square feet, it's in this town. And then they find sales that have sold, comparable sales, houses that are similar. And it's the same thing when you're pricing items on eBay. You know, if you're gonna be selling a Pendleton shirt, you wanna find one that maybe is the same style, the same model, maybe a similar size, the same color. You know, is it a Sir Pendleton? Is it one of the newer Pendletons? There's different like versions and whatnot. Does it have leather elbow patches? Is it in good condition? So you're trying to essentially find comparable items, which is sold. So you go through the sold listings, you find something comparable. Is it used? You only compare it to used. If it's new with tags, you're not going to compare that to a used item because it's going to be a different value, right? It's like new construction versus houses that are 40 years old and maybe a little bit outdated. So you got to make sure to get that down correctly. But having that best offer option in there if you're doing buy it nows is going to help out a lot. Also, if you do auctions, that'll keep you in the market. But the thing about auctions, especially if you're going after items that maybe have a wide spread, which a lot of items do, sometimes they may sway 20 or 30% based on your keywords, your pictures, your feedback, the time of year, maybe just luck comes into play sometimes. Maybe someone's just willing to pay because it's a rare item. So those are some things to keep in mind, Susan. But for all of us out there who are learning eBay, you got to find items that people want, and then you got to price them correctly. You know, in addition, people might not be buying your items because 2% is very, very low, right? If I was selling for 4 months or I listed something up, like I'd probably want to be going through maybe around like 20-25% of my inventory every month or two. I think it depends upon what type of items you're selling, what's your pricing strategy, and we're going to be getting into that. But let me know in the comments down below, what's your sell-through rate? Let's help Susan out. You know, I like to sell through maybe around 25% of my items every single month. Sometimes it could be higher, sometimes it could be lower. But let me know in the comments down below, if you have 100 items in your store at the end of the month, by the next month, if you stop listing, how many would you want to sell? I would say maybe 20 to 30%, somewhere in there. Sometimes it could be less, maybe 10, 15% if you've got really, really high-end items. I've talked about you know, my friend before who sells high-end clothing, his sell-through rate is much lower. It's definitely not 25% flip over rate every single month because, you know, other people might be selling a specific, you know, maybe it's a Joseph A. Banks Gold Series suit. Someone's selling it for 90, the average market's 90. He'll do it 140, 150, and he'll get it, but it'll take longer because he goes above and beyond with pictures and keywords, sponsored ads. He's got that reputation, the feedback. So let's keep moving on right now. Okay, so those are a couple issues. Let's keep reading this right here. So my husband, this is where it gets interesting. Susan says, my husband is not a believer yet in this eBay business. He will be, ... I love the positivity, I hope. Right now, he wants me to sell everything for cheap, even though everyone else is selling at much higher prices. He wants me to tank the market to sell it fast, but I don't want to leave money on the table. So this is interesting. So we can go both ways here. It's kind of a double-edged sword with eBay because eBay wants to see you consistently listing and selling items because what's the goal of eBay? Why does eBay exist? To sell products. The algorithm, you know, at ebay.com, amazon.com, all these platforms are really, you know, especially eBay and Amazon, they've gotten very, very sophisticated. And, you know, a lot of it is kind of like bro science or like maybe like we're kind of guessing what the algorithm's going to do. eBay tells us some things, but I know for a fact that algorithm is favoring stores who have good feedback, who create good, you know, customer service. There's not tons of refunds and issues and complaints. It's favoring eBay sellers who are listing consistently and also selling consistently. Because again, how does eBay make money? They make money when you list, but also they make money through, and even more money through the fees when you sell an item, right? And the payment processor now that they're running that. Sometimes you want to take a little bit less than you would like to kind of get that algorithm moving in your favor. And again, I don't know the exact answer of, you know, how this algorithm works, but I know at times, the more I sell, it seems like it keeps going. It's like a snowball that gets faster and faster. So, Susan, while your husband is probably onto something where like it might be good to get things moving and it might even boost you in the algorithm, it's a thin line because at the end of the day, I don't know what you're paying for items. If maybe you have a wholesale supplier, right? Maybe you're using Alibaba.com and you're finding some products and you're getting them for $1 or $2 and you found a product that you're able to sell for 22, 27 and you're crushing it. Your margins are huge. Or maybe you went to an auction. We have an auction locally, Susan, where towards the end of the night, they have a $5, like a round robin table kind of auction where you can get a whole table of stuff for $5. I mean, your average cost per item might be like 15 cents. In that case, if the market's at 30 and you take 14 or 15, who really cares? Especially if you're doing it part-time and you're able to make a $10 profit and it pays for everything. I guess it doesn't matter, but then there's like that double-edged sword where like you're leaving money on the table and ROI really goes down like compared to what it could be if you just stayed in the market a little longer. Like if you would have just waited an extra month or two, maybe you could have got 28 and doubled your profit, right? Because that 15 cents could have not only turned into a $10 profit, but a $20 profit. So it's one of those things where like you want to keep things moving for a couple reasons, to boost yourself in the algorithm, but also cash flow. That's a big problem that people deal with in business. That's why a lot of businesses go out of business. Some of them are actually good, solid businesses. There's reselling businesses out there where it actually works, but people, they struggle with the bookkeeping and the taxes, and taxes are due, and like they're just spending more and more money on inventory and their items aren't selling quick enough. And what happens is their bank account dries up. So you got to keep the things moving for cash flow, to pay your bills, to make it worthwhile, to sell your husband on the idea, so on and so forth. But at the same time, you don't want to shortchange yourself. So I would really say the answer is to kind of do a little bit of both, like zig and zag. Like sometimes take some lower offers to kind of get the cash flow going, to boost yourself up in the algorithm. But you got to gauge what type of products you're doing this with. You know, if you have like maybe, let's say for an example, you have something rare, like maybe a brand new sealed Sony CD player that are so hard to come across. Maybe you have a particular model that only sells maybe 6 or 7 times a year after you study the sold listings. Maybe it's selling for like $600, believe it or not, some of these things do. You know you can move it quick. Like a reseller like myself would pop on it all day for $250, because then I'd go put it on Amazon and, you know, sell it if I was approved in Sony or whatever particular product. You know, I do a lot of sourcing on eBay, where I actually buy off of eBay sellers and put it on Amazon, because a lot of eBay sellers price incorrectly, or they're going through a challenge. Like I'm buying a ton of board games on eBay right now, and some of these people are offering these board games for 50, and I'm able to just make them an offer at 20. And while it kind of, you know, I'm an eBay seller, nobody likes to get lowballed, sometimes it helps the eBay seller because they need that cash. So all in all, you want to be careful with how far you go, you know, shortchanging yourself, but also just keep in mind what type of items you're gonna like. If you're gonna shortchange yourself and undercut the market, do it on a product that's not super rare. Do it on a product that isn't gonna eat away at your bank account. Like that Sony CD player example, like I'd rather wait the 6 months and get my full $500-600 or whatever you're gonna get for it, 400, whatever I said, versus taking a $200 offer now, because I'm not gonna be able to find a high-end item like that all the time. But certain items that I could find all the time, like certain clothing or hats or shoes, you know, maybe I'll take 50% off just to get that cash flow, boost myself in the algorithm, and also boost your morale. You know, motivation and like just feeling good, right? It's proven, like if you feel good, like people who are happy and feel good and are confident in themselves, they do better in business. They do better in life in general. So a lot of this is like a mindset thing. So let me keep reading this email right now. So he says, you know, he wants me to sell everything for cheap, even though everyone's selling it at much higher prices. He wants me to tank the market to sell it fast, but I don't want to leave money on the table. He asks me every day if I have sold anything, and the answer is no. So he thinks he is right. I think I need patience to get money I want for my item. What do you think? So I think I answered that question. I think at the root problem of all of this, Susan, is there's some type of issue with the type of products you're picking up or the way that you're pricing items. If I'm not able to look at your store or when I'm able to connect, I would say the best thing is put a best offer on your listings. Also, since you have positive feedback, that's good. I know you only have one, so maybe there's some people who don't trust you, but that shouldn't be a big deal if you provide a lot of pictures, because I do a lot of sourcing on eBay, and I'll buy from sellers who have less than 10 feedback if they make sure to take time to take pictures, so it doesn't like, don't put stock photos up. I hate stock photos. It looks so scammy. If they write a description, you know, eBay now pretty much like auto-populates a description, which is like that 1-line, 2-line description. If you add a little bit more, that makes me feel more confident as a buyer. Obviously, making sure that you put some good keywords in the title is going to be important, and having a solid return policy would also be important, that you're a new seller, to kind of give confidence to that purchaser. But I think at again, to kind of get to the core issue here, you know, we could blame it on all different types of things, but I think it's the products that you're picking up, and I think it's the way that you're pricing right there. I would say to make sure that you start studying the sold listings. I made a video the other day about this. If you just study 5 new items every single day by going into different categories and then niching down, for example, clothing and then jeans, and then you can niche down into ties, hats, shoes, and then shoes you can niche down into dress shoes, into, you know, maybe sports gear types of footwear, tennis, so on and so forth, right? You could keep niching down. If you learn 5 new items a day, if you just did that 300 days a year, you took 64 days off, right? You did it 6 days a week. That's 1,500 new items that you'd learn about every single year. And that would compound over the years because one item typically will lead you to another item that you'll learn. So you got to study, make sure you're picking up the right items, because if you're just picking up a bunch of I see eBay stores, and I've mentored people who they've got a store full of 300 items, and they're all $5, $6, $7 little gadgets, little tiny little things that people can just pick up at the dollar store. Those aren't going to do that well. You got to study the sold listings. You got to find the right items, and that's a whole nother video in of itself. You could watch some of my videos. Just type in rake and profit, what to sell on eBay, what to sell on Amazon, what I sold. I've got tons of videos sharing the top. Matter of fact, if you type in top eBay niches, rake and profit, I shared my top 20 niches. And those aren't going to be a fit for everybody, but that'll give you some ideas in terms of the things that I'm looking for, and then start studying every single day. If you want to study 10 items a day, that's 3,000 new products you'll learn about every single year. And you're not always going to find these things at garage sales and thrift stores and auctions and flea markets and consignment stores and pawn shops and Facebook Marketplace and sourcing on eBay. I mean, the list goes on and on in terms of where you can source. So I would say, at the end of the day, your husband's probably just concerned because most businesses do fail, and he probably loves you and just doesn't want to see you fail or get your hopes up. But now you have to take things into your own hands and say to yourself, all right, what's the definition of insanity? It's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So right now you've got to change things because what you're doing is not working. You've listed 91 items, only 2 items have sold. So there's an issue there. So let's start trying some different things. Let's start doing some new strategies and whatnot. If you want to book a coaching call with me, I'll put a link down below. I'll put a little application. I've actually started to open that up where I'm going to start mentoring a couple people with their eBay businesses and their Amazon FBA businesses, mostly centered around reselling and thrifting and auctions and flea markets and reselling stuff. So I know there's a lot of people who want to learn how to make an extra $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. So if you want to book a call, let me know in the comments below. But if not, hopefully this video helped you and anyone else who's watching. Definitely room for improvement, but I think you're doing a great job. You've started your business. You've listed 91 items. There could be a little bit of negativity maybe coming in that's unintentional, that's maybe putting some pressure on you. Pressure's good, it gets you to act. So I think you've done a great job. You're taking action. 90% of people talk about things and never do it. So keep going, apply some of these things that I talked about, and keep me posted in one of my upcoming videos. Leave a comment or send me a message or book a call, and I hope this video helps you. So if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any tips for Susan or anything I missed in this video, drop a comment down below. But I appreciate all the love and the likes. Subscribe for more content. I'm posting new content every single week. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.